Welcome to my 1962 Morris Mini Woody Wagon. This car is ridiculous. I'll use that word probably quite a bit throughout this video, but it is ridiculous. The original design of the Mini I thought was kind of like an economy car, and then to add the handmade wood just seems a little counterintuitive. But it works so well. It is very cool. So this car, it was originally bought in Calgary at Cook Motors. Still is the original kind of dealership sticker. It's mostly original paint. I did have to repaint the door, and then the one fenders have been repainted as well, but the rest of it is all original paint, original wood. Yeah, it's kind of a survivor. It's very cool. I put another 850 in it, so I do have the original motor, but this is basically just a replacement I found. And it's kind of cool having like the original 34 horsepower. It's basically just a time machine. Way too cool. Let's walk around. So, starting at the back here, we obviously have the very cool barn doors. And kind of fun fact, but this is before they were actually officially called Minis. So, the Morrises were Morris 850s, and then the Austins were also Austin 850s. Now, that's kind of an export thing as well. I believe in the UK they would have been called like Austin 7s. But this is a Morris like 850 Traveler, and then the Austins are called Countrymans. But very cool interior, basically all original. I would assume this used to be kind of a little bit more green, the carpet, but otherwise it is actually basically all original. I did like take this all apart and clean it up. The doors, this is just a handle that turns. Hilarious. Now the rear seat, I feel like I should show this. It has a little strap here. So this folds up and this folds down. And then you have actually a decent amount of room. If I lay down, my knees are pretty much here. So you definitely can't sleep in it, but it's pretty handy. Kind of cool. And then it's got a little finger hold here. Too cool. Yeah, like I said, all the wood is original. It did bump into something at one point or another, and then this wood's kind of cracked. Now, the wood on the doors I actually didn't remove, but the wood on the side I did. Now, that was kind of a fun project. I don't really have too much experience with wood or like preserving wood, but had to do a little bit of research and, I don't know, kind of figured it out. There's a ton of little screws all along coming from the inside out. And I ended up getting those replated, and then there was a little bit of rot, I remember, I think here as well on the wood, and then a little bit of rust starting on the Mini here as well. So I kind of treated that. I took the wood off and ended up using like an antique furniture oil to kind of preserve it more, and then yeah, polish the paint, put new seals in as well for the sliders. So the windows actually slide quite nice. This is kind of another funny thing. The windows lock with just a little, basically just a fold-up tab. Super simple. But yeah, this slide's nice. Ridiculous. The classic Mini door swing. So I did repaint this door. They probably opened the door into something. Not sure what happened, but there was some damage here, but they ended up repainting the door in like this dark green. I'll insert a picture. It just looked so out of place. I had to paint it, and actually looks, I don't know, the paint match turned out pretty good. I'm happy with that. So, very funny little car. So this being a 1962, they're called smooth roof vans. I think in 65 they changed to rib roof. The roof kind of vibrates. So this was gonna be, I don't know, the ribbed roof was like affixed to that. And then this is also the first year of an external tank Mini Woody Wagon. So in 1961, when these things came out, the gas tank was inside the car on this side. And if you ever see one, the spout is like sticking out here. It looks kind of like an afterthought. This at least kind of has, I don't know, has a pretty official looking filler location, which is nice. And then of course I don't get the fuel fumes. All the little updates, 62. Pretty funny little car though. There is a little bit of rust, a little bit of damage, but I'm totally leaving it as is. It survived this long without being messed with. I feel like my duty is to keep it this way. So I did end up putting another Alberta plate on. I'm not sure, maybe someone in the comments would know if these are supposed to be chrome or not. They never were on the wagon when I got it. I know these are originally red, later ones are orange. But hilarious little car. So, as well as the felt sliders in the back, I had to replace the ones in the front. So the windows and everything came out. This door I had fully apart, cleaned up. Rust-wise, it's actually very nice. Minis kind of tend to rot out at the bottom of the doors, at least the early ones. And unfortunately, yeah, I don't have a proper seat. I do have some early seats that I still have to recover, but I want to find some better ones. But it'd be nice to get it kind of original in the front as well. This steering wheel is not original, but it's just such a cool period upgrade that I have to keep it. Going in, we have air conditioning. Yay! I will probably have to fix that. The original, like, dash liner, hilarious. So this radio would have been added by the dealer, I'm assuming. I'd like to figure out what year it is. I think the designer of the Mini notoriously didn't like radios, but check this out.
He's inactive for this one, along with Yasir Abdullah, Daniel Thomas.
How cool is that? So everything basically works. Windshield wipers. Oh, you actually have to stop it at the point which they go down. And of course, these old switches I just love. That's awesome. So the lights work, the horn works, this light even works in the shifter, sorry, the blinker column. Hilarious. So otherwise, like, the floor and stuff is in decent shape, but those corners will need some attention. It is such a cool little machine. Sun visors only go one way. This is another early Mini thing. And then my interior light works as well. Hilarious. These are the door pulls. I guess this is not any news to Mini owners, but non-Mini people might find that interesting. Now, the sliding windows is kind of an interesting thing as well. They did this to save room here. So there's no structural bracing or any safety features, but you do have maximum, kind of these door pockets are as big as they get because the windows slide. So there's no mechanism or anything for the window to go down, which is kind of nice. They changed that in, I think, 69 or 70, they went to wind-up windows. Moving on to the front. This is hilarious. So I put these guys on, rose petals. In my opinion, they're kind of best looking early Mini wheels. I don't have the original wheels for it. And I did put high-low suspension in it as well, so I adjusted it. It is a little lower than it originally would have been, but it looks cool. And yeah, floor corner rust. This rust here, I'm totally gonna leave. It's not structural. It kind of proves its originality. This fender's been repainted, but it's so hard to tell. It would have been done a long time ago. Now I'm looking for another mirror. This is the original Lucas one. I have the mount for the hole on the other side, but it is long gone. And the original headlights. These are very hard to find, I found out. I needed to find one. The one on this side was correct in there, but otherwise, yeah. And technically the bumper is supposed to have overriders, and the early bumpers have 5 bolts holding it on. The later ones have 3. So this is actually a later bumper. It's incorrect. So there's a few little things to do still. Original badge. It is just too cool, this thing. Open the hood. Hey, hopefully I can do this with one hand. All right, I don't think I can. Perfect. Here is the motor. All 34 horsepower. Beautiful. So I ended up sourcing this motor locally. It has good compression. It's a good motor, but I kind of tried to keep it as original looking as possible. So I have had most of the motor apart, except for like internally, just redid the clutch, resealed the diff, axle seals, stuff like that. Like the thermostat, it's actually been quite apart. Even the starter, I took apart and actually had to machine a new kind of a thrust washer in a sense. It was pretty worn out. And then the generator I've also had apart. The water pump is original with the grease nipple, which is hilarious. the radiator as well. It like all holds, it works good. It just looks like it hasn't been touched. Now these little guys, the early brake and clutch master cylinders, the metal caps are actually quite hard to find. So this is early 62 thing as well. I'm not sure when they changed to plastic, but later Minis have plastic caps here and plastic caps here. So this motor is from a 1966, and my original 62 motor has the plastic, or the metal oil cap. Moving on to the carburetor, yeah, kind of original. I did have to rebuild it. Unfortunately, it is a little sloppy, the butterfly valve, but it does seem to run good. And during this whole project, it's kind of funny. I didn't really paint anything. I did plate a few things, mostly the screws for the wood. But like this air cleaner, I mean, it's kind of rusty, but I ended up sandblasting the inside and painting the inside, just so, I don't know, it seals nice and it's actually good for the motor. But otherwise, yeah, I try to keep it as original looking as possible. Which is actually, it's hard to do almost. It takes more time to clean something than to like sandblast and paint it. Hilarious. This antenna, I actually didn't have it, but I ended up finding another one, the correct antenna, which is sweet, because this is just an older aftermarket one. Original windshield. Nice smooth roof. Yeah, it is such a cool little car. I will be posting my project videos soon, but I figured I'd do a walk around now that it's kind of beautiful fall weather here. Too cool. Yeah, the leaves are turning. This doesn't last too long, so I decided to take advantage of it. Yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think? I don't know what exactly I should do with it yet. Unfortunately, Alberta, Canada is not really mini territory. The roads here are long, flat, and straight, so it's not really ideal, but way too cool. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for the project videos. I suppose I should at least start it, prove it actually does work. The magic wand is hilarious. And the push button's here. Uh-oh. There we go. Seems to run good. These twin tailpipes are ridiculous. It could use a little bit of a tune-up, but I almost think I need another carb to fully make it run better. Yeah, it runs great. Hilarious. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the project videos.